Morning to all. Today we are going to deal with the subject, the film and media, and the topic below this is the overview of the history of world cinema. Overview of the history of world cinema. So let's see something about the early cinema, at what period, in which century it originated. So the period is between 1890s to 1990s. So it emerged in the late 19th century. So in this period, the pioneers like the Lumiere brothers in France and Thomas Edison in the United States, they were experimenting with motion pictures. These were the two pioneers. They were experimenting the cinema with the help of motion pictures. So the first films that was directed by this two person, it was in a very short way, it was silent, and the duration of the film is just a few seconds, and on the whole it was created just for the entertainment purpose. Next comes silent film era. Here the filmmakers like Georges Méliès, France, D.W. Griffith, USA, and Sergei Einstein, Soviet Union, they began to experiment with narrative storytelling, special effects, and editing techniques that laid the foundation for modern filmmaking. So these three persons, they experimented the film with the help of narrative storytelling and the special effects and editing techniques. These three, it laid the foundation for create a more and more modern filmmaking. So the silent films, it became very universal as they did not rely any language on making them popular around the world. Next comes classical cinema. The period is 1920s to 1940s. So in this period, the Hollywood cinema, it attained the topper position. It became the dominant among all. So in this Hollywood, it was considered as a global center of cinema. This Hollywood was considered as the global center of cinema, and in this place they were having some studios like Paramount, MGM, and Warner Bros. And these studios, they were producing big budget films. That's the reason Hollywood, it attained the top position, because they were creating and they were producing big budget films. The introduction of synchronized sound in the late 1920s, that revolutionized the industry, and in this period Charlie Chaplin and Greta Garbo, they were considered and they were became the international icons. People were crazed after these two actors. They became one of the famous actors in this period, 1920s to 1940s. Charlie Chaplin and Greta Garbo, these two Hollywood actors, they became as the international icons. And international cinema here around the world, we can see that other countries, they were developing their own film industries. As Hollywood got the first position, other countries, they are also started to develop their own film industries. So here in Germany, the expressionist movement, they gave rise to visually inventive films like The Cabinet, Dr. Caligari, 1920. And here, so Germany, they started a movie, and Soviet filmmaker, they also made a film. So here the director Eisenstein, he created a movie, that is, the name of the movie is Battleship Potemkin, 1925. And this was both political and experimental. And next comes to India. In India, the filmmakers like Dada Sahib Phalke, he helped to establish the Bollywood industry, and later it became one of the world's largest film industries. So slowly, India, it also was falling line along with the famous filmmakers line. It also attained a little bit peak level in creating a very good movies, and among them the first filmmaker is Dada Sahib Phalke. He was one of the famous filmmaker. Next comes Italian neorealism. In the 1940s, the Italian filmmakers like Roberto Rossellini and Vittorio De Sica, they made a pioneer a movement known as new realism. They were focusing on the lives of the ordinary people and used non-professional actors in real locations. So the Italian filmmakers, their style was something different, because they were focusing only on the lives of the ordinary people, and they also selected non-professional actors to act in their movies. They never went for the professional actors. They were always stick on to the non-professional actors in real locations. And next comes films like Rome Open City, 1945, and Bicycle Thieves, 1948, capture the harsh realities of post-war Italy. And next come here, the world cinema flourishes. How the world cinema flourishes. In India, Satyajit Ray's Pathar Panchali, 1955, he introduced the world to the beauty of Bengali cinema. So here, Satyajit Ray, he made a film, a Bengali cinema. The name of the film is Panchali. So here, it was considered as the India's golden age of cinema. The particular movie, it attained as a golden age of cinema. Meanwhile, slowly the filmmaking interest was spreading all over. So here in Japan, Akira Kurosawa made epic films like Seven Samurai, and which make internationally influential, and later Latin American cinema, it began to gain recognition with the works of filmmakers like Glauber Rocha from Brazil, who spearheaded the cinema nova movement. Now here, the modern cinema and globalization, 1970s to 1990s. Here, the Hollywood cinema, it continued to dominate from the beginning till slowly, starting from 1920s, 1990s, the Hollywood cinema, it attained the topest level, and it was always the dominant place, and it also created a blockbusters movies like Star Wars 1977, Jaws 1975. And here, rise of international cinema. As Hollywood's influence grew, so did the recognition of world cinema. So slowly, as the Hollywood cinema was growing, in the meantime, slowly the recognition of world cinema was spreading everywhere. The filmmakers from various countries, they gained international films like The Battle of Algiers and Italy, Algeria, The Taste of Cherry from Iran, and Amores Perros from Mexico gaining. So later, as years were going on, slowly the filmmakers from all the countries, they came with their own ideas, and they were coming up with their own movies, and it was spreading all over. Now the year is 2000 and present, that is contemporary cinema. How the cinema, it attained the peak level in advanced way. So here, through the digital revolution, the advent of digital filmmaking, editing and distribution tools in 2000 significantly changed the film industry. These are the things that totally change the film industry, that is filmmaking, editing and distribution tools. The accessibility of digital technology. So on the whole, the innovation in the film technology is that digital technology that came, and it was introduced, and their independent filmmakers, they started to produce films on similar very smaller budgets and with more creative freedom. And next comes the growth of streaming platforms like Netflix. Following this, now we are very much familiar with Netflix, Amazon Prime and YouTube has enabled the filmmakers from all over the world to reach international audiences. With the help of all these media, the audience has become international. The whole filmmaking and the craze after the movie, it reached on the whole to the international level, and the audience will also rise to the top level. And popular films like Parasite, a South Korean film, it was considered as a cross-cultural influence of the world cinema, and it was a Parasite winning the Academic Award for the Best Picture. So this South Korean film, it was winning the prize, that is Academy Award for Best Picture. So here, the contemporary world cinema is marked by a growing emphasis on diversity representation. So these are the things. So now we can see at present, the history of world cinema is a tapestry of innovation, cultural exchange and political change. From the early silent films to the digital era, cinema has evolved in response to technology, culture and society, and it continues to be a vital medium for storytelling across the globe. So these are things about the history of world cinema from the beginning till the current. What is the position of the world cinema? Beginning, it was not attaining the highest level. As years goes, slowly it was developed in different way, and at the current situation, the world cinema has attained the peak level, and it reached the topmost position because of the lot of innovation, digital media and lot of style and different innovations was introduced, and it reached the world cinema has attained a big level, and it reached all the audience international, and it is considered as one of the best thing, and as years is just going off, lot of things is introduced, and it became one of the famous, and the cinema become one of the famous media, and the world cinema become very famous among the audience. Thank you.